Hello everyone, I am here again to discuss about the last topic of our Earth science, which is the oceanography. For my topic, I am assigned about the important current system. So let's start. Before we will discuss on my topic, let's define first, or let's have a review or recap first about the ocean current. So ocean current is a permanent streams of water which flow in a definite direction from one part of the ocean to the other. Ocean currents can be thousands of kilometers in length and sometimes about 200 kilometers wide. This topic is already been discussed by Mr. Ryder John T. Bartolini, and let's have just a quick recall or review about this concept. The general movement of a mass of an oceanic water in a definite direction, again, is what we call ocean current. So drift current and streams are the classification of that ocean current, which are classified on the basis of the direction of flow, speed, and shape. So there are factors affecting and origin the flow of ocean currents, such as the rotation and gravitational force of the Earth, the temperature, salinity, the atmospheric factors, the winds, rainfall, and etc. So these ocean current, it can be divided into two types: the warm currents and a cold current. So what are those? So in a warm current, currents that originate near the equator and flow towards the pole. So as you can see there, they originate near to equator going towards the opposite poles, the north and the south poles. For the cold current, those that originate in high altitudes and flow towards the equator. So they came from the high altitudes of north and south, coming to or going to the equatorial region. Ocean currents are generally named after the regions along which they flow. So as you can see there, they have different names according to their places or region. So we have here the North Pacific Drift, Gulf Stream, North Atlantic Drift, the Kuroshio Current, and many more. Ocean currents are part of the wind system of the world. So the wind system of the world force the surface water of the oceans to move in a particular direction. So as you can see on the distribution of the ocean current in the images, so uh, the direction or the flow of the current is affected is also affected by the wind system. The prevailing winds, then speed and direction to amounts of water resulted to two different wind direction. As you can see in the northern hemisphere, uh, the ocean currents deflect to the right of the wind direction. As you can see here, wait for the leaf. And for the southern hemisphere, the ocean currents deflect to the left of the wind direction. These arrows represented how the wind or how the current deflect the way the wind is moving. Therefore, there is a clockwise circulation of water in the northern hemisphere and anti-clockwise and anti-clockwise to the southern hemisphere. And this is the uh, Coriolis effect caused due to the rotation of the Earth. In terms of the temperature, temperatures are higher at the equator than at the poles. As you can see on the image, the North Pole and South Pole are much colder compared to the equatorial region. Hence, water in the oceans near the equatorial regions get heated more than the one in the oceans in the uh, between the two poles. And this unequal heating sets up a convectional currents in the ocean. Warm water of the equatorial regions are light and move along the surface towards the polar regions where they are cooled. They came as they originated on the equatorial region. The current or the water moves toward the polar regions and they get cooled. On the opposite side, while the cold water is dense and heavy, it sinks downward from the surface and moves slowly towards the equatorial region, where on warming up it may rise to the surface again. As they heated, as it they go as they go back to the equatorial region, they may rise to the surface again. That's it. And now we will proceed to the important current system. All current system that I have mentioned earlier are uh, essential or important in carrying necessary things to provide life in our planet. It's not just about the organisms that live on the oceans, but also for us humans who are living on a different places. And I have cited few current system in our planet which carries a role or function for us to, or for the humans and for the organisms or the fishes to be able to survive and live in this planet. The first one is the Gulf Stream. Gulf Stream is a current that originates in the Gulf of Mexico in the Atlantic Ocean. So it is a swift flowing warm current and it flows northward along the east coast of North America until it meets the cold Labrador Current, which originated or came from the uh, high latitude of the pole or around the coast of Canada. So the warm Gulf Stream is forced to move in the northwest direction due to by the direction by the westerlies. As it moves across the ocean, the current is known as a North Atlantic drift. So again, so as this warm Gulf Stream move in the northwest direction by the westerlies, and as it moves across the ocean, the current is known as North Atlantic drift. And later you will know how important this Gulf Stream and Labrador current in providing life in our oceans. Next is the Labrador Current. It is a cold current and it flows southward from the Arctic Ocean along the coast of Canada. It makes the region along which it flows a very cold and keeps the coast ice bound. Uh, Ocean current act as a distributing agents of nutrients, oxygen and other elements necessary for the existence and survival of the fishes. Ocean currents plays an important role in transporting planktons from one area to the other. So the planktons are useful food for the fishes, and the favorable conditions for the growth of planktons develop where the cold current and warm current meet. And one of the best example of it is the cold Labrador Current and the warm Gulf Stream Current met near the Newfoundland, where world-famous fishing banks like the Grand Bank and George Banks have developed. So, what those are the importance of the ocean current, not just the Labrador Current and the Gulf Stream that meets, but also the other current around the world that carries or plays a very important in transporting the nutrients and minerals needed for the fishes and other organisms on the ocean. The other one is the Kuroshio Current or the Japan Current. This is a warm current in the Pacific Ocean that washes the coast of eastern Japan. This current makes the winters of western Japan milder and keeps the coast free. It moves across the Pacific Ocean following the direction of westerlies as the warm North Pacific Drift. Mm. Nagi, naging warm North Pacific Drift na siya. So it has a warming effect on the coast of Alaska and Canada. Next is the Oyashio Current or the Kuril Current. This is a cold current that originates in the Arctic Ocean and following the west coast of Japan. This current makes the west coast of Japan and the coast of Asian mainland severely cold in winter. What are the importance of the ocean current? Ocean plays important role when it comes to the climate of the Earth. Through the ocean currents, ocean transfer heat from the lower latitude to the higher latitude. They also balance global temperature by absorbing the heat in summer and release the same in winter. The continuous flow of ocean current is a natural effort to bring a horizontal heat balance. When the ocean current flow along the coast modify the local weather conditions. Warm current raise the temperature of the coastal areas where cold currents lower it. Warm current bring rain to the coastal areas because they supply moisture to the wind. Example of this is North Atlantic Drift brings rainfall to the western European parts and give rise to a characteristic climate in which it rains throughout the year. Unlike warm currents, cold currents do not give rise to moisture-laden winds and hence there is no rainfall in the coastal areas. These currents give rise to conditions which are the cause of desertification in the affected coastal areas. Cold polar currents bring large iceberg which are sourced of fresh water, but these icebergs are very dangerous for the navigating vessels. For example of this is the famous Titanic ship was drowned because of these iceberg. Ocean current acts as a distributing agent of nutrients, as I have said earlier, oxygen and other elements necessary for existence and survival of the fishes and other organisms. Ocean current acts as a major ocean routes which are followed by the navigating ships. Warm current keep the ports in the polar region operational because it makes an ice-free throughout the year. Ocean currents plays important role in determining the monsoon, and this ocean current gives a tremendous potentialities of producing power from the ocean, which an example of this, which is example of this are the Japan, Florida, and Hawaii being considered for test projects in marine power generation. Ocean currents are also very important in the dispersal of many life forms. For example of this is the life cycle of the European eel. I hope you have learned something. I think if you have a clarifications and questions about my topic, please email me. If there are things to be corrected, please also uh, message me or inform me so that I can uh, so that I can correct or check my output. Thank you for your watching and listening. For my references, these are my references. Thank you and goodbye.